Hey guys, welcome to today's video. It's probably going to be a pretty short one. I just wanted to take a couple minutes to share with you guys what I'm going to call success principles. Really some things that have been on my mind for the past week or two, just in general, and in particular from some conversations that I've had with a few clients over that period of a week or two recently. So if you have the goal of building muscle, I want you to keep these principles in mind. And I'm not going to go through details of any training variables or specific programming tips. I'm covering that in a separate series of videos. But right now, just a few very quick pointers that you want to keep in mind. So first things first, before you even get into the gym, you're heading to go work out, try to get yourself into the zone. This is going to be your block of time where you really tap into exactly what you're doing. Focus, be in the zone. All right, now you're at the gym. Take a second, pause, stop, listen to your body. Are you more stressed than normal? Did you get poor sleep the night before? And if the answer to either of those questions is yes, then you really want to consider dialing down the intensity for your workout just to allow yourself a little bit of recovery and not to push yourself too far when you're not in quote-unquote optimal condition to train. Before you begin any exercise and at the start of every exercise, do two things. Number one, visualize the movement you're about to perform. And then once you have that visual in your mind, number two, stop and really focus internally on the muscle or muscle group that you're targeting. Forget about any weight, forget about the machine, any external dumbbells, barbells, whatever it is. Now return your focus inside to the muscle group that you're attempting to train. You're almost ready to move. You're almost ready to start the first rep. Make sure you're set up in the position you want to be. Once you're set up there, do everything that you can to remain stable right there in that position, and then start your rep, start your set. All right, now you're moving. Your goal right now is to be contracting the target muscle or target muscle group as hard as you can, really focusing and maintaining the tension in that muscle or muscle group throughout the entire full range of motion that you can control for each rep for that set. All right, and this one is a big one. This is something that I'm constantly trying to remind myself as I'm going through a workout, but it isn't going to be easy. You need to push yourself. Feel some discomfort. Try to see the line. Try to figure out where your limits are and carefully, cautiously, in control, step across that line. Number one, your confidence is going to increase. Number two, pushing yourself and the intensity is going to trigger additional muscle growth. Super important. Now, it's pretty easy to get distracted in the gym and, chat with your friends and so on, but really deciding what your rest periods are going to be between sets of the same exercise and even between exercises, and really stick with them. Being able to challenge yourself at time points where you're not fully recovered, that's the key to pretty much everything, well, except for, gains in absolute strength. So really focus on those rest periods, keep them where you want them to be, follow them. Train for about an hour, maybe a little bit less, maybe a little bit more, depending on where you are in your training phase and depending on how much volume you're really going for. Over time, make sure that you're progressing your workouts. Make sure that they become more challenging week over week or every couple of weeks, or change it in some way to ensure that you're overloading your muscles as you progress through the weeks in your program. Related to that progression, of course, and this is particularly important for both older trainees and more experienced trainees, and normally it's one and the same group of people, is to continually, progressively increase your training volume. Again, not going to discuss it here. I've discussed it in my most recent video on training volume, so check that out, learn all about it, but make sure you're progressing your volume as you go along. Strategically plan any cardio that you intend to do, really so that you don't detract from the benefits that you're deriving from your resistance training in terms of muscle adaptation and growth. So consider short bouts of high intensity interval training or a little bit longer moderate periods of low intensity and steady state cardio. Okay, so a couple things that you can do now outside of the gym that I think are key principles to keep in mind. Number one, eat to fuel your growth. So what does that mean? Well, number one, in the pre-workout time period, try to get some easily digestible carbs or easily digestible fats to give you some energy. And then post-workout, try to consume both easily digestible protein as well as carbs. Continuing with nutrition, make sure that you're consuming moderate portions of protein throughout the day. Obviously, your protein requirements or optimal protein consumption over the course of the day is going to vary depending on who you are. Details can be found elsewhere in other videos. I'll provide links below. As well as really focus your nutrition on minimally processed foods. Try to maintain those as the core staples of your day-to-day diet, and then mix it up from there if there are things that you particularly enjoy that you really need to have. It sort of goes without saying, but attempt to also limit your alcohol consumption throughout the week. Doesn't mean that you can't drink, but I would limit it to a couple drinks per week, and then try to strategically time that in relation to food consumption as well. I've saved a couple of the most important ones for last. Number one is managing your stress levels throughout the day, and obviously throughout the course of weeks and months and years and so on. Just really have a good handle on the stress that you're exposed to. And for those stresses that you just can't avoid, try to manage the internal response that you have toward those stressors. And the second one goes a long way, which is really trying to get as much sleep as you can per night. Typically, for the average person, a minimum of 7, really shooting for more than 7 hours of sleep per night, and trying to make sure that the quality is as good as it can be, knowing, of course, that the periods of deep sleep and the duration of time that you spend each night in deep sleep really has an impact on how much muscle you're able to gain, as well as the rate at which those gains will occur. All right, guys, so that's it for today's really short video. Take a moment, take a few minutes, look at the list. I've put it all in the description below. Go through those, see if there's anything that you weren't aware of, anything that you could be doing better, anything that you really need to begin to start doing. As always, guys, if you found the information in the video to be beneficial, be sure to give it a thumbs up. I encourage you, as always, to subscribe to the channel so that you receive notifications for upcoming videos. And please head down to the comment section below, both with any questions you have on this video, any comments you have on this or other videos, and of course, if there are any topics that you'd like to see me cover in future videos, let me know, send me a note below. And as always, until the next video, guys, aloha from Hawaii.